Now, since this one was did before, and this is the new definition, and new themes comes from the old one, look at this picture. Okay. In this picture, we have a pi over 6 here, pi over 4, and pi over 3. Okay. So here is 30 degrees for the first one. This triangle. And then, sine 30 degrees is sine pi over 6. And then here is this length over this part. Hypotenuse now is 1. We always know this side is half of this one. Why? You probably remember, this one is half of this one. Okay? Yeah, I have showed you why. You remember, you can check the previous notes. Okay? Yeah, I flip this one like that. You'll get 2 angles. Please check the previous notes. Okay. So down here, we know this is 1/2. So that's y coordinate. And here is 1. And here has to be radical 3 over 2. Again, why is that? It's because down here, you see you have 1, 2, radical 3. You can divide all of them by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's exactly this part. Okay? And this one is 1/2. You see 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. So this part is radical 3 over 2. Okay? So this part is radical 3 over 2. That's why I put right here, radical 3 over 2. Okay? That's the x coordinate of this point. X coordinate of this point is radical 3 over 2. And y coordinate is 1/2. Okay? Okay. Here pi over 6 corresponding to 30 degrees, but if you remember the definition for the radians, this length of the arc is also pi over 6. Okay? Now, here is pi over 4, that corresponds 45 degrees. Okay? And then here we will get 1 over radical 2, 1 over radical 2. Why is that? Again, the same reason. Consider this ruler. Not complicated. Here is 1, here is 1, and hypotenuse is radical 2. Now hypotenuse divided by radical 2, radical 2 divided by radical 2 is 1. So you have this part is 1. And then 1 divided by radical 2 is 1 divided by radical 2. And here x coordinate is 1 divided by radical 2. So that's why here x coordinate is 1 over radical 2. Y coordinate is 1 over radical 2. Okay? Now, and then here is pi over 3 is 60 degrees. 60 degrees, then you can look at our ruler in this way. This is 60 degrees. Okay? So it's like down here, from this point to here, 60 degrees. And here is pi over 3. Again, the length from this point to this point on the arc is pi over 3. That's the definition for radians. Okay? So, this is half of this part. If this part is 1, then this part has to be 1/2. So, you see down here, 1 over 2. Then this is the x coordinate, is 1/2. Y coordinate is this leg. Okay, that's radical 3 over 2. So radical 3 over 2 is right here. Here we did is about pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. And you see those values in a unit circle, you should look at that in this way. Now, for the special values, 0, you see this is 30 degrees, but the terminal side and the initial side can coincide. So in this case, sine 0 degrees is 0 because of what? Because y is 0. So 1, 0, this part, y, this is the y. This is the x. Okay? So sine 0 is y, is in the definition. Sine t is y. Okay? So y is sine, x is cosine. Okay? So sine 0 is 0. Okay? Now, of course, cosine 0 then is 1. Okay, I wrote here cosine t is 0, so it's 1. Sine t 0 is 0. Sine t choose 0, so sine 0 is 0. Cosine t choose 0 is 1. Okay? That's one thing for the special point 0. Another one is this special point, which is what? In this case, you will have this angle is a right angle. Okay? So that would be right here. Right here. That's pi over 2, or 90 degrees. Okay? 90 degrees. So for sine t choose 90 degrees, that's value y. Y in this case is 1. So sine pi over 2 is 1. Okay? And cosine pi over 2 is x coordinate is 0. Okay? So cosine t choose pi over 2 is x coordinate 0. Okay? Right here. The first one corresponds, right down here in the middle, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3 corresponds to 1/2, 1 over radical 2, radical 3 over 2. Okay? So now I can take this away. Alright. And then you may look at that this way. Okay? So you can see cosine. Cosine, you should look at x. So cosine t choose pi over 6. Then you have x coordinate is radical 3 over 2. Okay? Cosine t choose pi over 4, you should have an x coordinate 1 over radical 2. And cosine pi over 6, over 3 now. Cosine t choose pi over 3, you have 1/2. Okay? It's because here x coordinate is 1/2. Now, right here, we have cosine pi over 2. You look at x. Cosine t choose pi over 2. That's this angle. Pi over 2 is here. So you choose x 0. Okay. That's about sine, cosine. Now tangent is just the y over x. Y is above, x is down here. Then 0 over 1 is 0. So tangent 0 is 0. Okay? And cotangent is y over x, because sine always gives us y. Cosine is x. 1/2 divided by radical 3 over 2, that's 1 over radical 3. That's 1 over radical 3. You probably want to calculate that. Okay, I probably can calculate down here. You see, 1/2 divided by radical 3 over 2, and that equals 1/2 divided by radical 3 over 2, divided, change to multiplication, you flip numerator and denominator, 2 cancel each other, so you have 1 over radical 3, and that's 1 over radical 3 right here. Okay, 1 over radical 2 divided by 1 over radical 2, that's y over x. Okay, and then that's 1. They are the same. That's 1. This one is similar. Radical 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. You can do the similar thing. You have a radical 3 here. You can see that. Yeah, you can see that it is slightly different, but the process are the same. Now, here 1 over 0, 0 cannot be done on denominator, so that's why sine pi over 2 is not defined. Okay, now for cosine t, you just flip tangent t. You see 0 is 1 over 0. If you flip it, it's not defined. So cotangent t is not defined and 0. Okay, and here if you flip numerator and denominator, you get radical 3 over 1. Radical 3 over 1 is just radical 3. You flip 1 over 1, because 1 is 1 divided by 1, you still get 1. And here if you flip 1 over radical 3, radical 3 over 1, if you flip it, is 1 over radical 3. Okay, please note, radical 3 is actually radical 3 divided by 1. Okay, now previously it was 1 over 0, but if you flip it, 0 over 1 makes sense, which is 0. Okay, that's for cotangent. So this part, we got to remember that by using either the picture or you want to find out all those values. Actually, it's not hard. Again, using those rulers to help you, okay, to find out how long of xy coordinates would be. Okay. Now I did is for positive 30 degrees or positive pi over 6. You can do the negative part. Okay, you see from this initial side to the negative, rotate to the clockwise negative direction. You will have a sine negative pi over 6, negative pi over 4, or negative pi over 3. Okay, enjoy yourself with that.